Welcome and thank y'all for coming today. We're here to support our friends who have had their first court appearance this morning. What happened in Memphis on March 28th should alarm every single person who believes in democracy. Thousands of people gathered peacefully, families, organizers, elected officials, community members, exercising their constitutional rights, marching, speaking, and demanding accountability. There was no threat to public safety. There was no justification for force. And yet, just feet from the end of a peaceful march, Memphis police escalated. They advanced on a calm crowd. They tackled, beat, maced, and arrested people who were not resisting. They targeted safety marshals, the very people working to keep the crowd safe. They even used violence against an elected official attempting to de-escalate. Let's be clear. This was not crowd control. This was not public safety. This was intimidation.
That's right.
And what we experienced on Saturday, while unacceptable, is not new. For many of us, this was shocking. For our black and brown neighbors, it was familiar. Because the aggressive over-policing we saw in broad daylight at a protest is only a fraction of what happens every single day during pretextual traffic stops, routine encounters, and targeted enforcement in our communities. This is a part of a pattern that has been documented for decades, a pattern that federal courts and Department of Justice have already confirmed. So today we are not asking, we are demanding accountability. We are calling on the city of Memphis to take immediate action, release all records related to March 28th, including body cam, dash cam, radio traffic, and use of force reports. Identify every officer involved and make their records public. Place all involved officers and supervisors on administrative leave pending investigation. Launch a public, transparent city council inquiry with sworn testimony. Preserve all evidence, nothing destroyed, nothing withheld.
That's right.
Produce a full public report with findings, consequences, and corrective actions. And implement binding policy changes that strictly limit use of force and require real de-escalation. Memphis carries the legacy of the civil rights movement. This is not just history, it is a responsibility.
That's it.
People came together peacefully to speak, to march, to demand better. They were met with force that cannot be normalized, that cannot be excused, and it will not be ignored. We are demanding transparency, we are demanding accountability, and we are demanding change.
That's it.
Not later, but now.
Now.
My name is Jessica Miller, Jessicamiller. I'm a steering committee of Indivisible Memphis. And we're going to bring up some of our friends that were detained.
Hi, my name is Adam Nelson. That's ADAMNELSON.
My name is Reuben
go
Birch, REUBENBURCH.
And my name is David Ram, DAVID RAHAIM.
This happened because enough people in Memphis have reached a point where we're done settling for a city that doesn't care about people or a country that doesn't care about people.
That's right.
We were there on Saturday as an expression of our collective will to build something better, to demand that we care for our folks. And the response of our city government and of the police force was to harass and intimidate us and remind us that they are the ones in charge, not us.
Mm-hmm.
And we reject that.
Mm-hmm.
And for rejecting that, the three of us were kept in detention alongside more than 100 other folks, many of whom we were there for a day. Some of them have been there for days. We heard people crying out for help and not receiving help. We were beside people who are not allowed to lay down for days at a time while they're only supposed to be there to be processed. But it's this strange limbo zone where all of the minimum standards of care that we would expect of any other institution doesn't apply when you're in intake. You can just get away with anything as long as you're in intake, but it doesn't actually take the 12 hours or the 8 hours that it should take. It takes days.
13-hour minimum.
13-hour minimum. That's what we say is acceptable, but we were there for 20, and we were one of the best treated people in there. And I'm really grateful to all of the people that I'm in a community with. I'm proud to be in a community that is building something better, that is saying we actually are going to care for people, and nobody deserves to be discarded. If nobody deserves to get snatched up and taken out of community. Safety is something that we build together. We build it by showing love for each other. We certainly don't build it by locking people in a room and stopping and forgetting that they exist.
That's right.
So I'm glad to be part of this movement. Let's keep building that. Let's build that world where we care about each other.
Yes. I'd just like to echo the words of my friend Adam here, and draw even further attention to the absolutely dehumanizing conditions in 201 Poplar. Every single little thing in there is done to make those people, anyone in there who has not actually seen a judge, feel less like a person, and it cannot be that way. They talk about wanting a new jail to make things better. It's not about that. They stretch it out. They don't let these people sleep. You can't lay down. You're sitting in a chair. You're told to get up out of the chair. You're given absolutely awful food. If that comes, I don't even know. I feel for every single person in there who has not even had their chance to go through the justice system, and we have got to do better. In regards to Saturday's event, it's already clear to a lot of people what happened. Just watch those videos, and we protect us.
That's right. That's right. That's it.
Go. So I think what happened Saturday is very clear to everyone. If it's not clear to you yet, the best clarification is go see it with your own eyes. There's plenty of videos and audio out there. Just look and respond to what you're seeing. But the biggest thing is there was almost 5,000 people there. There's lots of different angles, and this is what they do in the sight of 1,000 eyes. What happens in the basement here in the system is what's not seen, not reported, and uncared for.
Yep.
You have over 100 men downstairs right now that are not being fed properly. They're leaving the lights on 24/7. They're playing music on loop. They will not let you stand up to stretch. They will not let you lay down to sleep. If you talk too loud, you get strip searched. If you stand up too long, you get strip searched. If you talk to the wrong person, you get strip searched. If you don't talk to them, you get strip searched. This is not something that's uncommon. This is brand new to a lot of people, but this is not brand new.
That's right.
This is what happens every day. We were one of the people that were out in the quickest amount of time because we had support. What we need for everyone is support.
That's right.
When you have 100 men down there that are unsupported, that can't make phone calls, that will cut off the phones. You're not allowed to talk to people and get your information. Most people don't know what they've been charged with or when they'll see a judge.
That's right.
Most people don't know if there's a court date at all. You have people in intake there for 3-5 days at a time that have not been able to lay down and sleep. They have not been able to have the lights off and sleep. They have not been able to hydrate correctly. 2 toilets for 100 men.
And it's for failure to pay. They can't afford their bail.
Failure to pay. There shouldn't be cash bail. This is a system that is working how it's designed to work, and it's paying the people that are making money off of it. The officers downstairs, they're just paid by the hour, but the food we were getting was terrible, terrible food. I want to know how many dollars a plate that is, because someone's getting a contract that's getting paid
That's right.
to make these conditions worse.
That's right.
When these conditions happen in our city and all these cities around the U.S. and around the globe, and this is standard, this is what a lot of people are hearing about for the first time, and they're shocked and appalled. And this is what happens. On the weekends it's slow, during the week it's slow. I asked them if it's ever fast, and they just laughed.
That's right.
So let's get our system rebuilt correctly for the people. And let's stand together and support everyone.
And I just want to add one thing to what my friend Ruben here said, and it's just to point out what one of the shift officers said. I think it exemplifies exactly your point, and that was, this is just business. That is
Yeah.
what it is. It is a business,
Yep.
and that is not what it should be.
You can stay. What we've just heard is what injustice looks like, what injustice feels like, and what black families and poor families have been experiencing all this time. These are my community members, Reuben, David, Adam, and they have been treated so unjustly. They've been harmed by a system that does not see their dignity and that does not respect their person. This past weekend, on the 58th anniversary of the I Am a Man March, we witnessed some who were directly hurt or arrested due to the aggression and lack of respect shown by the Memphis Police Department and their leadership. Just like the I Am a Man March, groups of people who were marching for justice that was not yet realized, dissenting disrespect and negligence, our march was in complete opposition to the unsafe task force, to these folks who want to be kings, and its pattern behavior of injustice that continues to ripple throughout the Memphis Police Department.
That's right.
Why were the marshals attacked from behind? Why were we attacked as we moved into the park? With command staff on site. This represents a clear failure of leadership. The attitudes of the police officers directly reflect the leadership.
Right.
Elected and appointed officials whose private disrespect of protest and dissent show up as public harm or death. The undue arrest, the several deaths, the murder of Tyree Nichols, the intimidation and bodily harm to our protesters, that is just the fallout.
That's right.
The wealthy elite continue to solicit an intra-class war of violence meant to hurt and intimidate us from using our First Amendment rights. We will not be moved. We will not be intimidated. We will continue to stand up for justice. We will continue to protest immoral and incorrect leadership that puts our communities in pain. We will continue to march for freedom. Our demands have been made, and we expect them to be met.
That's right.
This pattern of unconstitutional policing in Memphis must end now.
My name is spelled Lucci, last name Chambeless. And I'm just here today as a hobbling testament to the failed leadership that Memphis have been subjected to over and over again. Back in February, I was looking out for some of our most vulnerable neighbors, the residents over at Memphis Tower, a low-income senior apartment complex. They had let the ice just stay covering the sidewalk, and the older people weren't able to get to doctor's appointments or to grocery stores. So I went to clear the ice, and I broke my leg in 3 places, 2 bones. Super fun. Thanks, Paul Young, for that failure. So then on Saturday, I go to the rally and obviously didn't march because I am very clearly injured. But as the marchers were making their way back to the park, I went to meet up with them, thinking I was going to get some cool pictures of the mass coming back to the park. About half of the marchers had already passed me re-entering the park as the march was over. And as I was getting my footage, I saw some MPD officers spraying marshals with pepper spray. I had no idea what happened before that. And then right in front of me, they tackled a lady who was walking back into the park. It was absolutely just chaotic. A few minutes later, someone else got tackled right in front of me, and Representative Justin Pearson was there encouraging us to move back into the park. And because I trust Representative Pearson's leadership, I was moving back into the park when I believe it was Colonel Penny decided that he needed to start shoving me. I made sure that he understood that I have a broken leg and that there are too many people in front of me for me to really run back into the park. Told him to stop shoving me, and he said, "That's it, you're going to jail," and instructed other officers to arrest me. Before I knew what was happening, I was surrounded by 4 or 5 guys with guns who were pulling me in different directions. My hands were handcuffed before I even knew that they had control of them. And even though my hands were already in handcuffs, they continued to scream at me to give them my hands. And I think that that's important for people to know, because we judge these young black men who get killed by the police and say that they should have just followed orders, but how was I supposed to give them my hands that they already had?
That's right.
Make it make sense. So while they were pulling me in different directions, you can see it's on video actually. Shout out to ABC 24 for live streaming my arrest. My mom loved that. You can see in the videos that the officers repeatedly are kicking my broken leg. And that's why I'm back on crutches. I had just got off of crutches Friday night, but now I'm back on crutches because the failures of both Paul Young and CJ Davis for not being able to control their little puppy dogs. That's really all I've got to say. We've got some demands, but I want people to know, I know that there are a lot of people who follow con men like Brent Taylor, and they're afraid. They're welcoming and championing this police state because they're afraid of their neighbors. And to those people, I just want to say that you can hate me all you want. You can send me all the nasty messages and you can think whatever you want about me. I'm going to continue working to build a world where you're not afraid.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Hello, I'm LJ Abraham, LJABRAHM. Memphis has a history of peaceful protests, and Saturday was no different than any other protest that we've had. We had protests in 1968, 2016, 2020 with George Floyd, 2023 when MPD murdered Tyree Nichols. At that time when Tyree was murdered, Paul Young and CJ Davis both made promises of transparency and accountability, none of which we've gotten. On this particular day, Saturday, at the No Kings March, that was a march that included children, elderly people, and disabled people. Yeah. And those are the people who were lagging at the back of the line that the marshals were trying to protect to make sure that they made it up to the grassy areas. And instead of the police holding the line and making sure that the people could make it back to the grassy areas safely, they instead ran in and attacked, pepper spray, beat, and kicked the marshals that were protecting said people. By them demonstrating this in front of all of these cameras and all of the witnesses that are out there, it makes me wonder what Danielle Maxwell went through when he was pulled over by MPD and was forced to shoot that officer in his face. MPD has a history of being violent. It was proven in the DLJ report that Paul Young refuses to acknowledge. He also said that he was going to put some folks in place to oversee and do police reform, none of which we've received. None of this would have happened if Paul Young had done his due diligence and got rid of CJ Davis after Tyree Nichols was murdered, after the Scorpion unit murdered Tyree. It was his responsibility to do so. Everything that happened on Saturday falls on CJ Davis and Paul Young. It is their responsibility to clean up this police department. But here we are, citizens of Memphis, still fighting from 1968, 2020, 2016, and 2023, and we're not going to stop.
That's right.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Dr. Andre, A-N-D-R-E, Johnson, J-O-H-N-S-O-N. I'm Senior Pastor of Gifts, G-I-F-T-S, of Life Ministries, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm here today to say that I was there for the rally. I was there watching. I was a witness. I saw the intimidation. I saw the brutality. I saw what happened. And it should not have taken place 50 feet away from completing a beautiful day, a beautiful rally, a beautiful demonstration. People are coming together. We're coming together, loving on each other, trying to stand and bear witness for our neighbors, our friends, our relatives, and yes, even people that don't really like us.
That's right.
We were standing up for Memphis.
That's it.
And we were concluding the march. And then all of this happened, as you've heard. So sooner or later, we're going to have to start believing the people who are being affected by this trauma.
Right.
Sooner or later, we're going to have to start believing the people when they come to banks of microphones and share their story, when you tell us and ask us what happened. Sooner or later, one day, you're going to have to start understanding and realizing that if we keep giving cover, if we keep excusing, if we keep not holding officers accountable for their actions, they are going to keep doing this. They are feeling invincible right now. There's no accountability at all. And so I come today asking clergy and really all people of faith. There will be a letter going around later today. We would like for you to take a look at that letter, to read that letter, and to sign that letter, and to stand with us.
That's right.
And to be a part of the solution.
Yes.
And to say that we are going to hold officers accountable.
That's right.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to come to our mosque, our churches, and our synagogues any longer asking for the help that you think you need when you are brutally attacking our citizens, our friends, and our neighbors, and our relatives. And yes, even the people who don't like us sometimes. So we are coming, and we are standing together.
Yes.
We are being together. And I hope that people who maybe it was your first time at a rally ever, that this does not discourage you, that you continue to come. But also know this, the next time, if you're not at the rally, and when this happens, don't assume the police version of facts are correct.
That's right.
Can I say that again?
Yeah.
Stop assuming that the police version of facts are correct.
One more time.
Stop believing.
Yes.
Oh, I love a comeback. Don't stop believing that the police facts are correct, because now you know. And when you know, you can't not know again.
That's right. That's right.
And if you do that, then you become part of the problem.
Yes.
So we invite all Memphians to stand with us. I invite clergy, I'm going to be calling some of you, to sign the letter that's going to be circulating later today. And we ask all people of faith to understand that justice must prevail.
Yes. Right. Yes.
That morality must prevail. And sooner or later, we're going to have to start asking questions about our policing and about our elected leadership.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Join us. Be with us. Walk with us. Pray with us.
Yes.
Stand with us. Be with us.
That's it.
Thank you.
So I just want to say thank you all for being here. If at this time, if you have any questions, we'll open it up for questions. Your name.
Yep. Keyshawn Pearson, KESHAUN. Last name is PEARSON.
I don't know if y'all be able to, but know what happened before. Did they give you just a report date on that? We don't need any legal things.
We have a court date.
Yes, our case was continued for 30 days, and we will see what happens when we come back.
I do want to just make sure that it's not lost on anybody that the No Kings protests were protests against state violence.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that?
Amen.
Okay. Thank you.
Strong. You okay?
Are you okay?
Oh, thank you.
I had no idea. I did. Very well.
Good job.
Probably you did get better. I had to be on crutches.
Oh yeah, we got steak, potatoes, it was very good.